Let's start off with a really simple equation. 1/2 times 2. Okay, so if we look at this visually, this is fairly simple. If we look at 1/2, let's go, here's a circle, and I'm going to cut it in half. Boom. Okay, there's 1/2, there's the other half. Okay, now I'm going to have two of these. Okay, so times 2. There's number 2. So now I have two halves. I'm going to look at these two halves right here. So here's 1/2. Right here, here's my half. Times 2, so I need another half. So there's my other half. So now if I look at these two visually, that's pretty simple to see that I have two halves, which equals one whole. So if I had this half, and then I added the other half, if I just flipped it around, now I have one whole. There's another way you can do this mathematically. You can say 1/2 times 2. Okay, because there's two parts, we're just going to say over 1, and we're just going to say 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Simplify this, 2 over 2 equals 1. So you have one whole. 1/2 times 2 equals one whole. Let's try 1/2 times 3. So 1/2 times 3 equals our unknown. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing visually. We've got 1/2. Let's make this 1/2 right here. 2 halves. 3 halves. So there's my 3. 1, 2, 3 halves. Now if I look at this, I can see very quickly that I've got a half here. I can take this half and put it on this side, and I can make a whole. So I've got one whole, and then I've got one half left over. So I've got 1 and 1/2. Now how do you do that mathematically? We can just do the same thing. We can go 1/2 times 3 over 1. That means the same thing as 3 equals 3 times 1 is 3. 2 times 1 is 2. Now I have 3 halves, but we want to simplify that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 2 goes into 3 how many times? Well, one time, right? 2. And then I have 1 left over. So decimal point here. And we can say 2 goes into 10, 5. Or what you can say is I've got one whole, and then I've got 1 left over out of 2. So basically, I have 1 and 1/2, or the same thing as 1.5. So there's my 1 right there, and then I have 1 left over divided by 2 is a half. Okay, 1/2 times 4 equals what? We can take 1/2 again, and we can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I look at this, here's my first one, second, third, fourth. We've got 4 different halves. So if I take this half and I add those together, I've got one whole. I take these two and add them together, and I've got a whole. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. So I have 2 wholes. That would be the answer. So if you want to do this sequentially, you can just go 1/2 times 4 over 1 equals 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 2, or 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, 2 goes into 4 2 times. And there's your answer, 2 wholes. Let's try 1/2 times 5. Okay. So we do the same thing. 1, 1/2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I've got 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves. Now if I look at this, if I take this half and this half, put these two together, right here, there's 1. And then I take these two halves and I put them together. There's my second one. And then I have 1/2 left over. So 1 plus 1 equals 2 and 1/2. Or we can do it mathematically or sequentially like this. We can go 1/2 times 5 over 1 equals 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 1 is 2. Now we know 2 goes into 5 2 times. And then how many are left over? If 2 times 2 is 4, I've got 1 left. So I got 1 left out of the 2. So 2 1/2.